Welcome back, folks. Well, it's the next day, and we are back on the Oldsmobile 455. And just to kind of figure out where we left off yesterday, you saw that I got the heads on, and I got the bolts in, but I haven't torqued anything. And the reason why I hadn't is because I wanted to know where the studded head bolts went. So I put them in where I've got them, and my good friend Kevin Ruby, thank you, and Joe Cardinal, thank you guys both. Y'all both said the same thing. Looks like I got them right for the air conditioner compressor, the bracket on this side. And I think Joe and or Kevin maybe said the same thing on this side, that I think this is for a power steering bracket that goes here. But again, I'll get with the owner on his car. So we got that done. We're about to go through and torque all that, sequence it. Now you're going to notice we've got the water pump on here. And again, Bernard Mondello, I texted him last night and he wasted no time to answer my question. That's on a Sunday. Now, I didn't expect him to respond because he's doing life, but he did. And he did tell me on the thrust, on the end play, he said, make sure you install the water pump and the gasket on the water pump because it will change it. And sure enough, he was right. I had a hard time figuring that out, but he told me, and I think basically this Oldsmobile timing chain cover is so thin that probably when the water pump goes on, it probably sucks that thing in better, I guess. But we went back to re-verify our thrust on the cam, and it tightened it up by about maybe 2 thousandths, but we've got 4 now. So it is, yeah. Yep. So I think we're golden. We are golden. So we're gonna get this thing torqued down, these heads torqued down, and then we're going to get on the valve train on this bad boy. And I don't think I've ever done this type of rocker arm system on an Oldsmobile. So let's get started. All right, now our heads are torqued. Cam thrust set, got our water pump on. So here is our roller rockers from Bernard Mondello Racing Enterprises. Looks like a really, really nice set. Look very similar to Harlan Sharp's. But look, they're on, yeah, very nice. I've never seen these before. So let's get this thing unpackaged. I'm probably going to talk to Bernard and ask him a few torque specs on these, and I'm sure he's probably already sent it to me. It was just so many parts at one time. I will look for that paperwork. I'm sure he's got it somewhere, but let's get this thing unpackaged and see what it looks like. So, yep, I spoke too soon. Torque 24 foot-pounds with blue Loctite, clean with brake clean. Hey, Bernard's already ahead of me as usual. So again, pretty cool. All right, I love these rocker arms. I don't know. I'm going to assume this is a Bernard design. And no, I was wrong when I said, it looks like maybe some Harlan Sharps. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You gals tell me. But this setup is trick. I love it. So basically, yeah, you got your flat spot. So here's your pedestals here. You go in there like that, and it just uses those bolts right there and just bolts down to the cylinder head. If you come over here and look where I got it set on, this is slick, man. Look, it's a shaft rocker, but it's paired. How nice! Wow, very cool. Yeah. So before I keep slobbering all over these rocker arms, this setup, let me go ahead and just start measuring for push rod length. But geez, man, I love this. Okay, so I dug out an old push rod from, it's this Oldsmobile factory push rod, this is what the length would be. Pretty much on all of them, I think, whether it's small block, big block, I could be wrong, but this is what it would have had right here. And as you can tell, it's way too long. Most everybody knows, but those who don't, you see how much taller a roller lifter is juxtaposed to a flat tappet. So substantially longer. So you gotta go to a shorter push rod. So take this out, set it aside. Now I've got an adjustable push rod checker here. Now I've got several of them. Obviously this one's too short, but I'll get another one here in a second and I'll adjust it out and we'll start measuring for lash and then we'll check the length. All right, now let's torque these to 24 foot-pounds. Okay, you can see I can spin this and it's even a little bit sloppy, but I was able to find the right size push rod checker that is a ball to ball. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the rocker, and I want between 20 and 30 thousandths lash, or to put the plunger down about 20 to 30 thousandths. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to tighten everything up, and then I'm going to remove this, and then we're going to measure. Okay, watch my dial indicator here. Now it's like I said, it's loose. Let's make sure it's nice and loose. So see here, I can sit here and turn it. And it's got slop in it right there. So let's go ahead. I'm on 0. Now let's see if we can get some lash into this thing. Okay. All right, there we go. So there's 20. I'm going to shoot for, let's go for maybe 25. All right, there's 25. I'll turn this back down. Right there. And if I look at the adjuster, I don't like that. So that's telling me really, I like to have some threads above it. So maybe it's just a little too long. I don't know. I may need I may be in a part of a range where I don't like, but really you should have usually one thread at least above the nut of the adjuster. If I look down here, yeah. Let's see if we can make some adjustments here, because that's really down. So I think what I need to do is lengthen this. So let's make a few adjustments. I just lengthened up on my adjustable push rod checker here, my length checker. So I lengthened it up a little bit so I could get the adjuster back out much further. So at least I had, if not a thread, right there close to it. So watch the dial indicator. And I'm gonna go for 20 thousandths lash preset on our, there we go, 10, about 20 right there. I'm pretty good with that. All right, let's sink it down. Now let's see how many threads I have. Okay, not quite one thread, but close. But I think that is where we want to be as far as that goes. Now, here's something else. I'm not done yet. I'm going to cycle this thing through, and I'm probably going to take this back off. I'm going to use a marker or something. I want to see how far I am. I'm going to check that roller with the valve stem, because if we're off on that one edge or the other, I think what you do, is pretty easy, is you probably shim these. But let's go ahead, let me take this off, and I'm gonna put some black marking or something on the valve stem, and let's stroke it. All right, so I took the rockers back off, kept the length the same on the push rod checker, but I put some black marking on the valve stem. I just wanna follow it through. I know it's not primed yet, but at least it's still, we're gonna get the motion. Let's see what it looks like. Let's take that thing off and see if we can see the witness mark. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So that, to me, you can see it. I think I need to get my light on there where people can see it. That's in the middle. I mean, that thing didn't, that looks plenty good to me. You can see this is a witness mark right here going across. So don't even have to shim or do anything. Yeah, no, we're good. We're golden. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this push rod checker out. And we're going to measure the length, and we're going to order some push rods. Okay. Yes, I'm using a tape measure. But I can tell you right now, this is so easy. From ball to ball, we are exactly 9.25 inches. I don't need a micrometer to tell me if I'm 2 thousandths off. Big deal. But that is 9.25 on the dot. So now, get ready to order a 3/8 diameter, ball to ball, length 9.25 inches. Okay, one other thing we can go ahead and do is check and see if we're going to need to put spacers on this thing or not. So we went ahead and put all the rockers on. And one thing I'm concerned about, now this is Kevin's for his 400, but the original valve covers need to be cleaned for this one, so I'm not putting them on yet. But I need to check for clearance here and see if we hit the baffle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some Play-Doh here, and I may go ahead and put that push rod checker back on this one here and cycle it and see if we have any contact. All right, we put our push rod checker back in because I want to cycle this valve right here, the rocker arm. So I'm going to take Kevin's Oldsmobile 400 valve cover, excuse me, because it is clean rather. So I'm going to put some Play-Doh on the baffle. We're going to put this thing on, and we're going to cycle it, and we're going to see if we get any contact here, how much clearance we have if we have to put spacers on this thing. I had to put my push rod checker on the other end because the baffle's on this side. So always something. So let's get this thing on. I've got the Play-Doh on the baffle side right here where our intake valve, hopefully the rocker is going to touch it. We're going to see what we've got. All right, we got it all bolted down. We've got the push rod checker on. Let's go ahead and cycle this thing. Take this thing off and see where we ended up. All right, big reveal. Oh yeah, yep. And it went right. It's touching the metal. Yeah. See, it even. I heard something, so it already made a. You see that high spot? So we are touching. So let me get that Play-Doh out of this thing, but yeah, that's going to be a problem. I have to figure out what's going on with that. All right, I think we're going to leave it here again. We've got two things. Got to order the push rods, custom length, that's easy. However, for the rocker arm clearance with the valve covers, I'm going to call Bernard. Most likely I'm going to have to, well, obviously, I'm going to have some spacers. It's just too close. You saw where this thing was hitting the baffle. Got to have the baffles. So it may be where I can have these modified. I don't know. Now these are dirty. I haven't cleaned them up. These are the factory style ones. But you saw on Kevin's, it was hitting about right there. I don't know. I'm going to talk to Bernard, see what he thinks. He'll come up. He'll know. So that's where we're at on the 455. It is coming along. It is really coming along now. So push rod length is now verified. So I'll get those ordered, and I'll get the rocker arms and clearance and the valve cover clearance. I'll let everybody know what Bernard and I decide on. And of course, the customer's going to let me know. I'm sure he's going to probably send me at least the alternator bracket and an alternator to run it. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at on a Rocket 455, everybody. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.